Kesang Lepcha. To all the overthinkers, and
What do introverts do in their free time?
we do crave for human connection.
How many years it took you
I
for
think most of the poems that I've written here, I
top 3 poetry?
the poem is a gift with a condition.
Okay.
Fail to realize what they were made for. And to be honest, I was hesitant to put all the poetries in the book.
Definitely be a little controversial
Yeah,
topic, right?
Available in Amazon. Just have a hobby.
What inspired you to start writing?
Try to publish other books.
Dilulu is Lulu. Hi everyone, it's me Sangi and welcome back to my channel or welcome to the new episode of my podcast. So guys, for today's podcast I have a very special guest with me here and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kesang Lepcha, Sangi's friend.
Yes.
I'm from Martam, where I completed my schooling. Currently, I am working as a teacher in a school which is in Gangtok.
And ever since like our school days, we went to the same school also, okay? So ever since our school days, she has been very, I would say, like poetic. She has been a literature girl, okay? Girly, okay? So yeah guys, on that note, today's podcast is wholly going to be based on a newly launched poetry book by none other than my friend Kesang Lepcha. And yeah, let us talk about her new book, which is titled as The Human Notes, okay? Yes, and yeah, the cover page is also very pretty. And once again, a huge congratulations to you, Kesang, for your newly launched book.
Thank you.
So I am now going to give you the platform to talk a little bit about this book, as in like, you know, how this book came into reality.
Okay, sure. So, Human Note is a short poetry book, and it is more like a invitation to all the overthinkers and all the introverts out there who feels like perhaps like their words doesn't matter and whatever they say is like silenced, you know. So this book is like a confirmation, and I hope it will make you feel seen and understood.
Oh, I love how you put together those sentences. Okay, it's like it sounded very nice
And poetic.
Yeah, poetic as as always. Okay, so talking about this book, you told what made you put this book out there for the world, especially for all the introverts out there. Okay, I would ask you, as someone who is a bit more extroverted, I'm an ambivert, more on the extrovert side. I feel like I am a bit curious about what goes on inside an introvert's mind, and you being someone who's like more on the introverted side, I want to know like few of your insights, as in what do introverts do in their free time, how introverts view their life, and what do introverts do, Yeah.
Okay, that's a very nice question. With due respect to all the extroverts out
Yeah.
there, introverts are, I think, if I talk about myself, being an introvert, I am more of an observer. I see what happens around, and since I don't really express with words, as in with my mouth or thing, I introverts are more like they have their own world inside their mind where most of them are happy and content, I believe, and that's one of the reasons why they don't want to come out and be someone else. And I think it's an honor, it's something nice to be an introvert. I think we should be proud of ourselves the way we are.
Okay, yeah, that's also a very nice perspective about introverts. I'm also curious about one thing, like how does like energy of other people affect you? Because let me give you an example. So I say like I'm an ambivert. So for me, like I feel like I have got the best of both the worlds. So I need to meet people.
Yeah.
I have to be in social setting to like feel like myself. Okay, but then sometimes like I drain out all of my social battery, and then I need isolation, a little bit of solitude time to recharge myself. But then what I'm understanding from introverts POV is that you all are okay on your own, like not even meeting people, but then how do you balance things out? Like does not like that get too lonely, and don't you crave like human like human connection, interaction. So yeah, like just my curiosity. Okay.
So I think, like you said, as an extrovert, you have to be social and
Yeah.
show yourself up like that. At the same time, you need time
My
for
time,
yourself.
like me time, yeah.
So it's like sort of opposite to that.
Oh,
So
okay,
we
okay.
are like, we need our time. Like, okay, we are so comfortable inside house in our own room in one corner like that. But at the same time, we do crave for human connection and interaction. And I think that's one of the reason I'm here.
Yes.
To share that introverts are not entirely like very goofy and
Not needing anyone.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's more like they do need human interaction, but
Yeah.
most of the time they are, I think, okay being on their own.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, like that's just the reality.
that's beautiful,
Yeah,
no?
it's beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we went into a little depth about the extroverted and the introverted thing. Now let's get back to the book. Okay. So talking about the poetry book once again. How many poems do you have in the book?
21
So
poems.
okay, did you write this 21 poems in just one time frame, or was like one poetry written a long time ago and one was just added recently? So yeah.
It's actually the mixture of both.
Okay.
There are some poems that I'd written when I was having my existential crisis era.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there are poems which just comes like on the spot and then you just write it. So yeah, it's a mixture of both.
And how long did it take you? Like now that
I think it took me, I think most of the poems that I've written here, I wrote it during my winter break when I was not going to school and I had free time. So yeah, 2 months.
Oh, okay. And as much as I feel like all of the 21 poems, they are very precious to you. I want you to pick like the top 3 and just also give us like a brief insight as in like why they are your top 3.
Oh yeah, sure. That will be an honor actually. Speaking for all the introverts here. So I think one of my favorite is the first one in the book. And this one started, like I talked about how there's a connection between an introvert and their observation, right? So I think we tend to, sometimes as a human being, we become very judgmental.
Yeah.
We see someone with tattoo and we judge them. We see someone smoking and we judge them like, okay, these are bad people, or
and like they have bad characters.
yes, very
There's a
selfish.
stereotype.
Yeah. So this piece was written in that perspective where don't be so quick to judge people. Okay, just things are beyond what you see. There's so many things that meet your eyes. So this poem is the name of the poem is A Gift with a Condition. Okay, so do you want me to read it?
Yes, can you please read like at least the first stanza for us?
Alright, so the first stanza is, amidst all fancy glittering stuff that enchanted my dull mind, I fell for a lighter with a skull sign.
Okay.
I thought about a friend who smoked, like his life dependent on it.
Oh.
So after, I think, reading the whole poem, you will be able to know what I wanted to write. It's very simple actually. The words written in this poetry book is very simple. I didn't want to use big words. To be honest, I don't know big words.
Yeah.
I want to keep it simple because poetry is more about understanding as opposed to confusion.
Yes.
So I think sometimes we tend to
And
use...
we are like, our society in general, we are not like, English is not our first language. Okay, this is just a language which we learn in school and which we need like academically wise and like in future, but then it's not our first language, so there's no like compulsion for us to use, like just because you write poetry does not mean that you have to use like bigger words. I think for you to be able to resonate with your readers, I think the words needs to be like simple, understandable, right?
Yes.
So that every people, like not even those who are not into poetry can read and comprehend, right?
Just read and comprehend and perhaps relate.
Yes.
And even if you cannot, I feel like poetry is something that has its own depth.
Yes.
And you will understand according to your experience. So it doesn't have to align with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you just read, and I think reading is such a good thing
Yes,
to do.
definitely.
You know, it's a good hobby that you can catch
Yes.
up with.
And now moving on, let's go to your top two.
Oh, okay, sure. So the second poem is this is also one of my favorite because it talks about the paradox of being a man and a woman.
Okay.
You know how? Okay, I'll just read it.
Okay,
actually.
okay.
Okay. So the topic is, what are we made for? Some men are made of flowers, warmth, water, and gentle breeze. They can make the difference between lotuses and lilies. Do you know how to fly along with the wind and dance in the rain? Do you know exactly how to ease away the pain?
Oh.
And some women are made of tragedy, stones, dark humor, and bones. They unintentionally learn to heal the deepest wounds. They nurture nature, but fail to realize what they were made for.
Oh, wow. I think people who get poetry will get it. How would you explain this to people who might not get poetry in that level, like in just a summary, in a simplified way, like about men and women you were saying, no? So,
So I think it's a very simple poem,
Yeah.
and most of them will get it. But my perspective would be that we tend to, like, again, here comes the judgmental thing,
Yes.
where we tend to think that men are very strong and macho, and
Yeah.
they don't cry,
like
and
they have to be
yes,
masculine all the
yeah.
time.
We tend to put them in a stage where, you know, just because they're men, they are strong.
Yeah.
They don't have their weak spot. It's not like that.
Yes.
At the same time, women, you know, when you see a woman, you feel like, oh, she's so gentle, so
Yeah.
calm, so charming, and it need not necessarily be
Yeah.
that. So that's what it is about.
Oh, that's very,
I think it makes sense.
yes, it makes sense, and you know, so simply it touches those parts of our society where like many people are afraid to, you know, even talk about it. And I think you have explained it very beautifully, very simply in this poem, so I think many people will love this.
Okay, I would be glad if they.
Yes,
relate
you
to
guys
it.
have to, huh? And yeah, let's move on to the third one.
Yeah. So third one is more of in a spiritual side. I think I would like to put it that way.
Yeah.
The topic is body in a soul. So it goes like this. Can I read the whole?
Yeah, if you want to. I
I'll
mean,
read the
it's
whole thing
okay,
like this.
okay.
It feels incomplete.
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes like this. My mother warned me about strangers with candies, and that advice did come in handy. My father taught me the importance of self-love, but for me to love myself was pretty tough.
Oh wow.
My brother told me that being bold doesn't mean going looking for trouble.
Yes.
He knew that I was born to be a rebel. Darkness taught me the value of light. Light showed me darkness's bright side.
Oh.
Secret showed me the best way to hide. I learned that failure is a sign that you tried.
Yeah. Wow.
Words spoke up about how they admire silence. Calmness told me the true story of violence.
Oh wow.
As I age, I do agree that the world is a stage. I must not overplay my role. After all, I'm just a body in a soul.
Oh wow. And by the way, guys, I have read all of the 21 poems in this book earlier itself, okay? But then, you know, hearing the poem from the writer or from the poet herself, it like makes that poem like more special, okay? So, wow, like when you were reading those lines, I'm just like, yes. Yes, my reaction was like that, okay? So, yeah.
And after every poem, the encouragement and the feedback that you're giving me is like, I can't take it anymore. Can you please stop it?
I think that's one of the perks of being an extrovert. We're like, yes, you can do it. Go it. Like we're very, I mean, not trying to say that introverts are not supportive, but then extroverts are supportive in a very vocal way.
Yeah,
Kind of
true,
like, you know, introverts are very like silent supporters. I would say like they will be there for you. Okay, extroverts are more of like, even if they are there to join you for say 10 minutes out of your 1 hour, they'll be, that 10 minutes will feel like you know, like that. But then introverts,
Full of energy.
yes, full of energy, and that's also beautiful. But then, like, I think introverts support you and love you in a way that they will sit with you without saying anything, listening to you for the entire 1 hour. And I think the best of the both, like we have the best of the both worlds, right? So
Yes.
yeah, I think wow, your top 3 is
Good.
yes, nice. But then, guys, definitely do check out all of her other poems in her book, okay? Because every piece has a story to tell,
True.
okay?
Yes.
Now that you have talked about your top 3, do you like, from your 21 poems, okay? Do you have like maybe like one poem out there which you were like maybe a little hesitant to put it out there, because like this to anybody can read it, right? So this is a little vulnerable moment for you,
Yeah.
or maybe like a a poem which you did not feel as confident. I don't know, like maybe you could have your own reasons, but
Yeah.
a poem which which you were maybe a little hesitant to put in the book.
Yeah.
Do you have
To be
one?
honest, I was hesitant to put all the poetries in the book or even publish it
Yeah.
like that. Okay, but yeah, jokes apart,
Yes.
there was one poem,
Yeah.
and it's more on the darker side.
Oh.
And people again tend to like tell me like, why are you so dark? Why are your talk so deep and dark? Like, though it is filled with dark humor,
Yeah.
they still tend to uh, not everyone, but there are some who's like, please come out from the dark side, come to the light. Okay, but yeah, so this poem is called Good Friends.
Oh. Okay.
So it goes like that. If the cost of staying alive is to watch everyone else die, then I will bind with death in a way that it adapts me. I'll stick to his invisible body like a tattoo. I'll ask him about his job, and I'm sure he'll say he cannot quit because it's his family business. A business with no profit or loss. He has no servant, nor does he have a boss. Everybody fears him because he doesn't go by the laws.
Oh.
He doesn't care about the wealth. He takes the poor as well. As I write about him, I've started to like him. And I think we'll make good friends.
So this is about like being good friends with death.
Yes.
Like instead of, I think what I'm understanding from your perspective, you writing this poem is more like we all are afraid of death. Like most of us are like, even I'm afraid of dying because we never know how we are gonna die.
True.
And this is like all that I've built in my life, all that I'm hoping for the future, my loved ones, if I die, I have to leave everything behind. And I don't even know like where I will be going. I don't even know like whether I'll be having a rebirth or death is scary. But then I feel like you took death and like made a poetry out of it. And rather than being afraid of death, like you are saying that you kind of want to befriend him.
Yeah.
Is it something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, true. You got it.
Yeah.
It is something like that. It is in fact exactly like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we celebrate life, everything, life going on, so many things happening, and then death is something which is inevitable, right? It's going to come for all of us someday or the other. And then I feel like when people pass away, we tend to cry, we tend to grieve for the loss that we go through, and that's very intense, right? It's to lose someone is like, I think, one of the worst things that can happen to anyone. But then I feel like for that person, they have lived their life and perhaps liberated. They are away from the life which is like mostly desire, suffering. So again, this is going towards this spiritual side. So I feel like
kind of they have attained nirvana.
you never know.
Yes.
Maybe they're happy.
Yeah.
That they're done. Like we are crying about it. Okay. I might get a very bad response for this, but I'm more like accept it.
Yes.
So, but I think I wrote it not because only because I like that, and I am like
no.
asking people like, this is very dark topic going on here, but I feel like we all need to accept it.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, even something happens to us, okay, knock on wood,
Yes.
or anyone, you need to accept it, and then don't get stuck there. Like, okay, I've lost someone, I miss them, which is okay. I miss them. There is a limit. Don't betray yourself and
Yeah.
your life just because you lost someone to death, because that might not be so hideous and scary.
Yeah.
Maybe it could actually be opposite, right?
Like we never know.
Yeah, so it's just an imagination going on
Yes.
there. So yeah, this is the reason I was, like you said, a little bit hesitant to put it,
Hesitant,
because
yeah.
it goes more on the darker side,
Yeah.
and people might misunderstand it. The ones who will understand, I'm sure they'll understand,
Yes.
but there's a more chance of being misunderstood.
Yeah, so it could definitely be a little controversial
Yeah, true,
topic,
true.
right? But then, like, I'm actually glad that you took the courage and you put it out there, because I feel like, um, you know, even if there are like a handful of people who might not like it or who might think negatively of it, but I'm definitely sure that this will bring comfort. This will bring comfort to many people. Okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
So yeah, guys. I think we had a very beautiful insight about this book, and if you want to read the rest of the poetry in this book,
Dark poetry.
I'm gonna have Kesang tell you guys as in where you can purchase the book and everything. So yeah, Kesang.
Yeah, sure. So this book is actually available in Amazon.
Okay.
You can just type human notes and then we'll just show it to you. At the same time, I have my own personal copies, a set
Okay.
of bulk, in fact. And
So you can people can directly
yeah,
purchase
you
from
can
you,
directly
right?
purchase from me with a nice message
Yes.
for you, the way you like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can drop the link.
Yes,
later
yes.
on.
So I am gonna drop like the link to her Amazon, this book where you can find on Amazon. I'll place the link in my description box as well as my comment section, guys. So definitely check it out. And Kesang also has a poetry dedicated Instagram page, okay, which is called as tribal_KDL, right?
Yes.
So I'll also link her Instagram account. You can go and reach out to her. Okay, guys. Now that we are heading to the end of this podcast, what is the last message you want to give, maybe to all your readers or to all my viewers out there?
I think I would like to tell everyone to have a hobby.
Yes.
Just have a hobby, build something. It doesn't have to be big and flashy and stuff like that, but do something with
Passion.
whatever you have.
Yeah.
Whatever you have from inside. I'm sure most of you would love to write
Yeah.
or publish, or some of you would love to do something, maybe
Yeah.
sing or
Be a YouTuber. Yeah.
or you can be so many things at the same
Yes.
time. Our life is so profound.
Yes.
And
And
it
we
is-
need not be like just one thing.
Yes, you
Like,
can be so many things.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So there are so many possibilities, and you just don't be like try not to be tired
Yeah.
with
Life,
and feel like
right?
feel like you are nothing.
Yeah.
Because you are something. It is just that you need a little bit push like
Yes.
that. And coming that from an introvert might sound
Yeah.
like
And you know what, like sometimes even if there's no one to push, you just have to give yourself a little pat in the
True,
back.
yes,
You have
yes.
to push yourself.
That is
okay?
very important. You should be your own hero.
Yes,
You should
definitely.
be your own savior. Try not to of course we depend on each other
Yeah.
for so many things like that, but please don't forget that you are a human being with so much of knowledge and emotions and feelings with you, and you can do and create so many things.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So I would just tell you all to have a hobby. It need not be extreme like that.
Okay, even though I said that, it would be the last, last words from you for this podcast, I suddenly, I have another curiosity in my mind, and I think.
I like the way you say in my mind.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, even though I do not want to make the podcast too long for the viewers, but then still I feel like this would be a nice thing to chat about. Something I'm curious to ask you is, everybody, as we were talking earlier, that we need a little push, maybe it's from the outside factors or maybe it's from inside. What was that push for you? What inspired you to start writing?
Okay.
Yeah, so can
I
you please
think-
answer that?
I think for me, writing was something which was, I would say, writing was more like a time pass.
Oh.
Okay, when I was little, since childhood, writing was a pastime. more of a hobby
Yeah.
as opposed to a calling. Okay, I never thought that I would publish or something like that. And then I think it sounds like a cliche because most of them will say something like this
Yeah.
only, like I never thought I
Yeah.
will do that. I've never thought I will teach. I never thought I'll get married to this
Yeah.
guy. Or I never thought that I will come in this park
Yes.
and give a podcast. So it happens.
Doing a
like,
podcast in the middle of Gangtok,
yeah,
eh?
and people staring at
Yeah.
you. And I don't know. And then, so yeah, writing has been more like a pastime, and it was a hobby more than a calling. But then, as time passed, I continued to write, and I came to
Maybe
understand.
it became like, sorry to cut you off, like maybe, as it started maybe with your hobby and slowly it kind of like became your safe space.
Yes, yes.
Is it true? Is it like,
Yeah.
am I saying it correctly?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was like out of words. So yeah, I came to understand that it is in truth my element, and I also accept the fact that I am far from perfecting this art or perfecting this craft of mine, but I am going to keep working on myself.
Yes.
And
I think that's a win in itself that you are going on, you are trying.
talking about my inspiration, I
Yeah.
think it would be everyone around me, all the
Okay.
people. It need not be someone that I know.
Yeah.
It could be, I think, mostly strangers, because since we introverts love to observe people
yeah.
and what's going on, and I feel like everyone is an inspiration for me, and everything is an inspiration for me. People walking by. There are people who walk by and then they see a stray cats or they meet stray dogs,
Yeah.
and even if it does not belong to them, they are buying biscuits,
Yeah.
giving it to them.
Oh,
They're
yes.
patting cats. It's so nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So that itself is an inspiration. And when you look around,
Yeah.
there are so many things that you can see and find and get inspired.
Yes, seeing like kind people,
Yeah.
kind strangers.
Yeah. And then also at the same time, let's go on the other side. You can also see some people who are like messed up,
Yeah.
right? They are just walking around with sticks, like messed up, And even them I see as an inspiration because they can be worse than that, but there is something in them that keeps them going.
Yeah.
So I think everything
And
that
maybe
I see
they
around-
had a very traumatic experience, for them to be at that stage,
So I more like sympathize them.
Yeah.
And then their art is created like that. So for me, inspiration is everything around me.
Yes.
You are also an inspiration for me, to be honest, because
Thank you.
there are so many reasons. I don't have to like point it out. And
Yes.
since you know yourself, I think you are someone who walk with your heart in your sleeves like that. Very
Yes.
confidence in school days. So a little bit of this confidence for me to come and talk here is also because of you.
Oh,
because
thank
I don't
you.
think I will be able to do this just on my own, or unless I'm comfortable with
Yeah,
someone.
and I'm glad to know that despite us being of two different personalities, like even though we are friends, I'm glad to know that you could feel that safe space with me where you can come and talk and just be yourself. Okay, that for me, that really means a lot when I am able to provide that sort of comfort to people where they can be themselves when they are with me.
I think you should be very proud of yourself, because
thank
not everyone has that ability, the power to make someone feel safe and comfortable.
Every beginning has an ending, and every ending has another beautiful beginning. So you guys should definitely check out my friend's new book, and I'm pretty sure that Human Notes is just a beginning to your another amazing venture into poetry writing. So on that note, I want to ask you, do you have any plans to publish a new book? Is there any idea as such? Okay, we want to
Going
know.
on.
So
Yeah, definitely. I have a bunch of poems
okay.
that I am already working on, and then at the same time, like I told you, that I found my element, like writing is
Yeah.
something that is in my, I wouldn't say that I'm very talented and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I'm saying that, okay, I found something that is close to me,
Yes.
that I'm comfortable with, and then I would try to publish other books, poetry books as well. At the same time, I'm also working on some other projects,
Okay.
which might take time, but maybe soon.
Soon in
And
the
we'll
future.
have, another podcast and we can again
Yes,
talk about it.
definitely, guys. Let's look forward to another podcast in the future. We will be talking about Kesang's, second, third, fourth, fifth published books, and not only just poetry books, but as you mentioned, some other projects as well. So, I am very excited to you, and I'm sure my viewers are equally excited for you. I think we have some mutual friends also in our viewers, so I think them also watching this video, like maybe people from school, some of them are watching this video, I'm not sure, but I think everybody, people who knows you personally, would be very proud that you made this first step into your first step in this journey of your writing. So yeah, with that being said, once again, a huge congratulations to you, Kesang. Okay, we have actually done the congratulatory ceremony already. Okay, our another friend Dunga was also there, but then as I mentioned that that podcast was a fail, so this was like our second take. Yeah, but I'll insert the few clips out there of how we congratulate Kesang. Okay, and we are very proud and happy for you, and wishing you lots of luck, and wishing you lots of positivity in future, and very excited for your future endeavors. So yeah, thank you for coming, and thank you for giving us your time, and thank you for joining us in this podcast.
It's an honor.
Yes.
Actually, thank you for
You're welcome.
taking me as one of your, what do you call it?
Host, no, as a guest. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really nice talking to you. I think
Yes.
last time was also
Very
very
nice.
It was one of the best.
Sadly,
feeling
my mic issue that day. Yeah.
yeah, it was very nice. And this time also it's nice. It
Yes.
was nice. The place is nice. And to be able to share what's in me, I feel like it's high time, no matter how introverted you are,
Yeah.
there will come a time where you will get an opportunity to express yourself.
Yes.
And please don't
Miss the
Miss
opportunity,
the opportunity.
yeah.
Yes, just grab it. So I think that's what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
And I hope that you all will be able to find your own hobbies, your own element, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah. Okay. Before ending, I just recall that in our last podcast, you mentioned something about now that we all are hitting our late 20s, you mentioned something that before reaching 30, this was something in your bucket list. We forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
true.
guys, this podcast is not coming
on.
to
It's going
coming
on
to
and
an
on and
end
on.
yet. Okay, but I hope you all are enjoying this conversation. So can you please throw a little light on that?
Yeah. So I think this will also revolve around the hobbies
Yeah.
you have. For me to publish a book, I think in my mid,
Yeah.
it just stuck like, man, okay, I don't have so long to live like that. As in
Long to
we will live maybe till 70s because
Yeah.
of our intakes, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted this was more like a bucket list.
Yeah.
The first poetry book, it was more like a bucket list. So yeah.
That you wanted to accomplish in
Yeah.
your 20s,
Yes,
right?
before I hit 30.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even though now that we're in the late 20s, we are realizing that 30 is not that old. Okay, because we are still, for so many things, we are still kids at heart. Okay, we are
I think for this comment I
Yeah.
said Dululu is the New Zealand.
Oh yes,
Being
yes, I
delusional,
remember.
and
I
that's why it
remember.
was
I
so much
remember.
fun.
No,
Being
because when we
delusional
were
is-
young, people view 30 as you're old, you need to have your life all figured out,
Yeah.
you're like an adult. But I feel like we are still adulting, guys, and nobody has their life figured out. I don't think many people has their life figured out even in 50s. Our parents, they might be in their late 50s to early 60s now. I don't think even they feel like they are a perfect adult. I'm definitely sure even they have certain things, even
They're still figuring out.
yeah, they're still figuring out life, and yeah, that's the beauty of aging, I guess. That's the beauty of
Being
being
delusional.
yes.
also.
Yes, Dilulu is the Silulu, right?
So
Yeah, I think we had a very fruitful conversation, and
Very.
we touched on the book, the poems inside the book, and the future.
Yes. And life as a whole.
Yes, life as a whole. It was a very fruitful conversation. I had a great time. Hope so you did too.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's end our podcast today with this thing. Okay, we'll say it together. Dilulu is the Silulu. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Dilulu is Silulu.
so weird.
Yeah, two girls sitting in the park and saying Dululu. It's Dululu. But yeah, guys, bye.